Your intentions come true 100% of the time. Your desires, almost never. Understanding the difference between an intention and a desire is the key to enjoying your manifestations. Also, understanding this difference will allow you to have less disappointments in your life in general. So, that's what I'll be talking about in this video, this concept of intention. What is it? How do we relate to it? And to explain you this concept, I will tell you a short story from my own life, from my own experience, the moment when my spiritual guides first introduced me to this concept. Hopefully, telling a story will allow you to better relate with this idea and to see how it actually works in a real life situation. So, the story. When the lockdown was first announced, I was already here in Istanbul, but I didn't have my own place to stay yet, so I urgently needed a place to stay. And I asked around, and one of my friends invited me to stay over at her place. She was already sharing that place with one friend. But she suggested that I move in as well, so that's what I did. And this first day, I just settled in. The night I go to bed, and early morning, I wake up from some weird noise. I, I, I wake up in total panic because I can't understand the nature of that noise. I can't understand where it's coming from. What is it? So it's like around maybe 6 a.m. And I look around. I try to understand the source of that sound. I see my friend. She walks down the hall to the room where this other friend was sleeping. She walks in, she shakes him, calls his name, wakes him up, and the noises stop. So apparently, he was the source of those sounds. And what I learn later is that he was having sleeping paralysis incident, and the noises that he was making is just he was moaning very loudly because he couldn't actually use his mouth to scream, but he that's how he was asking for help, someone to come in and shake his body so that he can wake up from that sleeping paralysis experience, which he apparently has pretty much every morning. So that's what I learned. Next day during breakfast, they told me this whole story. Nobody warned me beforehand, so I didn't know that first morning. I was very surprised. And later, they told me that it's like a condition that he has, that he's been experiencing for as long as he remembers himself. At that time, he's around 30. So he says that he's experiencing it since childhood, and it happens pretty much every day, maybe like 5 days out of 7. And he wakes up that way with that sleeping paralysis, and somebody has to come in and shake his body, help him get out of it. So it's kind of like a normal thing for them already. And I was just introduced to it. I was surprised. This was unusual for me to hear such a story because myself, I had maybe like once or twice this kind of experience, the sleeping paralysis. I had it maybe once or twice in my whole lifetime, and I kind of thought that's pretty much the way people have it. I usually heard that's how people have it, at least maybe once or twice in lifetime you can experience it. I've never heard about anyone who has it daily. So that was unusual for me, but oh well, okay, that's what he has. So next morning we wake up with that sound again, the same procedure repeats. She wakes him up, we move on. But I'm scared. I'm not used to loud mornings, so very uncomfortable. I feel next day after day it repeats, and I start feeling really, I understand it's really, um, I'm not enjoying it at all. So I start kind of thinking maybe I could figure out some way to help him resolve this thing, get out of it somehow. So I asked him if he'd be willing to try if I could find a solution for his problem. And he was like, yeah, sure. So many people tried already. He tells me this whole experience that they've already tried pretty much everything, from doctors to priests to shamans to psychiatrists. They've been to mosques, to churches, everywhere, and everyone tried, and nobody could remove this thing, whatever it is, this condition or entity or whatever that thing he's experiencing. Nobody could identify it properly, nobody could remove it, so he just lives with it. So when I asked, do you mind if I try to do something about it? He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I questioned him, asked him to tell me in every detail as much as he could about like how it's happening, what is he experiencing in the process. So he told me in very detailed way. Basically, because he's experiencing it for so many years, he was able to give me a very good breakdown of this whole experience. So I took that whole day analyzing and calculating a possible solution for this situation. And around midnight, I was done. I kind of came up with an idea how we could go around that thing. And I sat him down around midnight, and I told him I'll give him a very detailed instruction for every step of that experience that he has. I will tell him a specific thing he needs to do. When you feel this way, you do this. When you feel this, you do this. Like step by step, I'll explain. And he'll have to perform that when the experience begins next time. So that's what we did. We sat down around like midnight. It took us around 3 hours. I was explaining to him the steps, and I had him memorize it all and repeat it all back to me so that I was sure that he got everything right. So around maybe 3 a.m., we were done. We go to sleep. And next morning, I wake up peacefully, quietly, nothing's happening. At breakfast, I find out that the experience was beginning this morning, and he was able to perform step by step everything that we discussed, and it worked. He did exactly everything that he was told to do, and he was able to open his eyes and get control of his body and get up. So it worked. I was so excited about it. Like I was amazed that it worked. I was proud in a way that like of the fact that I found that my solution worked. And I was so proud and so happy that I called my best friend, shared about it. I called my mom. I told her about this excitement, that this was such a difficult problem and nobody could solve. And look at me, I solved it. I was so proud. I shared with everyone. So we just move on. We just live our normal days, lockdown days, basically. Not much happening, but day after day, we wake up quietly. So we kind of forget about it after a while. Maybe a week later, I remember that our mornings have been pretty quiet, like nothing's happening. It's not repeating. And a couple weeks later, I bring it up at breakfast table. All three of us are sitting together, and I calculated the days. Maybe it was like a couple weeks already that he's not having his sleeping paralysis, and I'm like, oh my God, isn't it like 2 weeks already that you're not having your thing? And you could hear all my like pride and my excitement in the question, like happiness maybe. And I ask him, and he says, yeah, there was just one thing special about me, and now even that is gone. That was not the answer I was expecting, I guess. So I kind of like my whole excitement, like everything just dropped. And I was like, what? Um, what kind of reaction is that? Like, I was, my emotional reaction to his reply was very powerful, like emotional explosions. So my spiritual guides reacted to that. It was a very powerful um, emotion of disappointment in me. And my spiritual guides enter and they tell me everything is always right. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I've heard that phrase from them so many times already. And when they say that, and I feel like, yeah, sure. What is right about this? Everything is always right. How could this be right? This whole environment, the situation, his reaction. What is right about this? And my guides say everyone received exactly what they intended. And I'm like, and but I still feel disappointment because like I know this is not like, how could this be what I intended to receive? Like I'm disappointed. I feel like I wanted to receive something different. I wanted to receive gratitude maybe, or like excitement from them, like yes, we won, we dealt with that thing. Like how could you say that I received what I intended to receive? And then my spiritual guides. By the way, this communication is telepathic, so people are not hearing it, but I'm breaking it down for you so you can understand the idea. So next thing they ask is, because I still feel disappointment even after they say like everything is always right, everyone received what everyone intended, and I still feel like no, this is not matching. No, how could this be what I intended? And they ask, what did you want to get? What did you want to receive? And I feel like I wanted gratitude. I wanted, I don't know, some kind of appreciation, maybe, at least. Maybe, I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe people even pay for it. I'm not asking to get paid, at least some kind of. And they keep asking, what did you actually want? But I'm still boiling, so I'm still like, but no, what did you actually want? And when I think about it, took me a few moments to think about it, and I realized that what I actually wanted was quiet mornings. And they confirm. They're like, you wanted quiet mornings, you got quiet mornings. You wanted complicated cases to practice with, you got complicated cases to practice with. And I realized that I've been requesting that back in, like, just in my experience. I've always felt like I need to be completely sure about my abilities. I have to get more confirmations, kind of like I need to solve more complicated cases. So if within, they're saying like, if you're still not confident in your abilities, you feel you need more confirmations, so you intend to find more problematic people so that you can train on them, experiment and get better and better until you get fully confident in what you can do. So your intention, one of your intentions, was to meet more problematic people. We give that to you. You ask for it, we give it. Then your intention in this case wanted to have quiet mornings. You got quiet mornings. This guy wanted to be a victim. He was a victim with the problem. He is a victim without the problem. Because he wants to be a victim, he will be a victim either way. His intention is to be a victim. He will either be a victim with sleeping paralysis, or now he's a victim from whom sleeping paralysis has been taken away. He's a victim either way. You cannot take it away from him. He gets what he intends to get. And this is the key that I want you to pay attention to. And if you can apply it to your own situations in which you might be feeling like disappointment with, for any situation that you feel disappointed with, try asking yourself, what was your actual intention there? Because the situation unfolded the way you intended. And this understanding that until you know your true intentions, you will forever be surprised and maybe disappointed with your manifestations. You're creating your reality all the time. You're manifesting what you intend to experience. But if you don't know what you intend, then you will be forever disappointed and surprised what comes out of you. So if you don't know what you intend to do, this means you don't know who you are. So we once again come back to this basic idea of knowing thyself. If you don't know yourself, you don't know what you want, you are manifesting things all the time, and then you blame others for it, or you blame life or universe or someone playing as if it's happening to you. That is simply a side effect of you not knowing yourself, not knowing what you create and why you create that. So working with this concept would mean looking at what you have around you, whatever the situation surrounding that you have, looking at it from the perspective of taking responsibility for whatever is surrounding you being the result of your intentions. So you intended to have this situation, and asking yourself, why did I actually create this? What did you actually want? That was the question that my guides kept repeating to me when I was like, I wanted gratitude. And they keep asking, no, what did you actually want? But I wanted, I don't know, appreciation. No. What did you actually want? And they kept asking that same question. What did you actually want? This thing which I didn't get. No. Keep asking that question until you come back to the answer, which will perfectly match your reality. Because what you actually wanted, once you find that actual answer, what you wanted, it will be a perfect match to what is surrounding you, to what you got. So you can turn it the other way around. What you have, like problematic people around you, that is your intention. That is a reflection of what you intended. Why do you intend? In my specific case, like if we're working with this example, I wanted to be even more confident in my abilities. And for that, I needed even more complicated, even more weird cases, even more problematic people for me to apply my ability to calculate the way out and to confirm it until the moment where I don't need to confirm it to myself anymore. Just the fact that I myself was surprised by the fact that my approach worked. I was shocked. I was so shocked. I called my mom. I called my friends. I was shocked. I was surprised that it worked. This is a confirmation that I was not confident. I could not guarantee it's going to work. That's is the reason why I still needed that experience. I needed that guy on my way to show me that problem so that I can exercise on it and I can grow more confident in what I can. So instead of expecting gratitude from him, I should be grateful to him for allowing me to play with this case, because that's what I wanted. That's what I intended to experience. More complicated cases. at that point of my life. That's what I wanted, and I was getting more of them. And a result that I wanted to have peaceful mornings, I had peaceful mornings in that flat for as long as I stayed there, maybe months and a half more. And then I moved to another place where I could have my peaceful mornings without disturbing anyone else. So, in every situation, even though we each create our own realities, but these realities kind of intertwine in a very interesting way that still everyone, even though we're in the same reality, everyone is getting exactly what they intend to experience. So that person wanted to be a victim. No matter how many powerful priests or shamans will be surrounding him, he will come out as victim anyway, because that's what he wants to be. That is how our realities can coexist in the same space, and still each one is creating their own. Even though in the same space, but each one has their own reality, own perception, which is based on what you specifically need to experience right now at this point of your growth or development. Hopefully, you kind of get this idea of the concept of intention is the true desire of your true self. So if you're not fully connected with your true self yet, you don't fully know who you are, you don't fully know your power fully, you will probably be unclear on your own intentions. And you might be confusing your true intentions or your true heart's desire with just wishes and desires which are just superficial. And to understand the difference is only these superficial ones, the ones that are just product of your fantasy, your mind, only they can be causing disappointments, because these superficial ones, they actually never manifest, they never come true, because they're not the real ones. In this case, let's apply it to this example. My superficial desires were like, oh, I wanted to be acknowledged or appreciated, or I wanted some gratitude or whatever from them. Those were never my true desires. I never wanted. What I wanted was to get better and better and better at this job. And I wanted peaceful atmosphere where I stay. Those were the things I wanted, and those were the things I received. So this phrase that my guides like to repeat, everything is always right. Once you apply it to any situation that you're experiencing, everything is always right. And you see that whatever disappointment you experience at that moment is probably caused by your own misinterpretation of your own intention. You're confusing your true intention with some superficial wish or desire, which is causing disappointment. I hope the example allowed you to relate better. So if you get this point, you'll see why my guides keep telling there is no reason to be disappointed ever. You always get what you want, always. You always get exactly what you intended. So start intending better. So start understanding your intentions. Get to know yourself better by looking at what you are intending, what you're creating right now. You get to know yourself, and then you work with the throat chakra, with tuning and cleansing your Vishuddha chakra until your wishes, desires match with your actual true intentions. And then your manifestations come out exactly the way you plan. That is the work of tuning between what you think, what you say, and what comes back. That logic about the throat chakra, I was talking about it in the sun card video. I hope you still remember. So that's the work of tuning your throat chakra until your intentions match your thoughts and match what surrounds you in your own perception. So there's no more disappointment, no more mismatches, and your manifestations should become more fun from that point on. Hopefully, this made sense. Let me know if you like shorter videos more than longer ones. I'm experimenting, so let me know. Bye bye.